Welcome students. In this video we shall be learning about the concepts of scrap and surplus disposal under the subject of drug store and business management. So first of all, what is a scrap? It is a residue that is incidentally obtained from manufacturing process. So it is a residue that is incidentally obtained from the manufacturing process. So it is usually of small value and is recoverable without further processing. It can be recovered and recycled. For example, we can say powder and fine granules that are obtained in the tablet manufacturing process. The surplus items are those which are not required by the organization. Now the second comes the surplus items. The first one was scrap. The second one is the surplus items. These are the objects that are not required by the organization. So these are not required by the organization. It is generally spoiled raw material, rejected components. So what are its examples? That are containing spoiled raw materials which are now degraded or not fit for use. Rejected components of machines, we can say the rejected parts or rejected components. It also contains obsolete material. So what is this obsolete material? We shall be discussing it on later stages. Obsolete materials. So in a drug store, the expiry date goods comes under this category. It also contains the expiry date goods. It also contains the expiry date goods. So the scrap can be further classified into following types. Number one, it is the legitimate scrap. Legitimate scrap. Now this scrap can be predetermined or anticipated in advance due to manufacturing operations. This can be predetermined or anticipated in advance due to manufacturing operations. We can pre-calculate it before carrying out any manufacturing process. For example, the material obtained in the form of fine granules and powder in the granulation process. Then comes the administrative scrap. The next category is administrative scrap. So what is this administrative scrap? Now this scrap results when material becomes obsolete due to change in design. It consists of obsolete materials that are of no use due to change in design. So these are basically the outdated components which are of no use of latest provisions due to change in the design. Now the third comes the defective scrap. Now the third one is the defective scrap. This scrap results from the substandard raw materials and poor workmanship in handling of such materials. It is due to substandard raw materials, due to presence of substandard or spurious raw materials along with poor workmanship. So these are the various types of scraps. Now how these scraps and spurious surplus materials are disposed of. So disposal method consists of, so now disposal of scrap and surplus materials it includes two methods. Number one is by selling out. Under this category, the surplus and scrap materials that cannot be recycled. So the products which cannot be recycled comes under this category. Now the second method is recycling. Now in this method the scrap and surplus materials are reprocessed into useful raw materials so that they can be used in subsequent production of basic products. Now how this scrap can be controlled? We must understand how to control the scrap. The scrap can be controlled by effective management of raw materials during its manufacture. The following measures can be helpful. Number one is by providing proper attention during the designing stage of product. First of all, the designing of product can effectively reduce scrap. Secondly, by selecting the right material and equipment during the production of finished goods. So the selection of manufacturing equipments play an important role in reducing the scrap. And thirdly, by selecting the right type of personnel with proper training and experience so that they can handle the material properly, thus reducing the scrap. So selection of right type of personnel with proper training and experience should be there in order to handle the materials properly. So students, this was all regarding the scrap and surplus materials. I hope this is helpful to you.